Today is May 13th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are on Chapter 8, Two Wives. We'll read page 118. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Tradition 3, and we'll read page 141. And of course, read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope y'all are doing well this morning, my friends. It's Wednesday morning. It's hump day already, halfway through the work week. I got a giant cup of coffee in hand, back on my morning routine. Sometimes I sleep in a little bit, all the way to like 4:30 or 5:30. I know. But it is 3:30 as I'm recording this, and I don't know, somehow I feel better. I'm a weirdo. I'm sorry. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, my friends. So if you recall from yesterday's reading in Two Wives, we were talking about conflict and how we can try to handle that. And it said one of the last lines we read yesterday on 117 was, "Never forget that resentment is a deadly hazard to an alcoholic. We do not mean that you have to agree with your husband whenever there's an honest difference of opinion. Just be careful not to disagree in a resentful or critical spirit." So we are reading page 118 today. You and your husband will find that you can dispose of serious problems easier than you can the trivial ones. Next time you and he have a heated discussion, no matter what the subject, it should be the privilege of either to smile and say, "This is getting serious. I'm sorry I got disturbed. Let's just talk about it later." If your husband is trying to live on a spiritual basis, he will also be doing everything in his power to avoid disagreement or contention. Your husband knows he owes you more than sobriety. He wants to make good. Yet you must not expect too much. His ways of thinking and doing are habits of years. Patience, tolerance, understanding, and love are the watchwords. Show him these things in yourself, and they will be reflected back to you from him. Live and let live is the rule. If you both show a willingness to remedy your own defects, there will be little need to criticize each other. We women carry with us a picture of the ideal man, the sort of chap that we would like our husbands to be. It is the most natural thing in the world, once his liquor problem solved, to feel that he will now measure up to that cherished vision. The chances are that he will not, for like yourself, he is just beginning his development. Be patient. Another feeling we are very likely to entertain is one of resentment that love and loyalty cannot cure our husbands of alcoholism. We do not like the thought that the contents of a book or the work of another alcoholic has accomplished in a few weeks that for which we struggled for years. At such moments, we forget that alcoholism is an illness over which we could not possibly have had any power. Your husband will be the first to say that it was your devotion and care which brought him to the point where he could have a spiritual experience. Without you, he would have gone to pieces long ago. When resentful thoughts come, try to pause and count your blessings. After all, your family is reunited. Alcohol is no longer a problem, and you and your husband are working together toward an undreamed of future. Out of the 12 and 12 are on Tradition 3. The only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. And yesterday we were talking about all the rules that were in effect in the early days of AA. One of the people that was an old-timer during that time says, after all, isn't fear the true basis of intolerance? Yes, we were intolerant because they were afraid. Their sobriety was so important, and the early days of the meetings were so precious and fragile that they were afraid that any little distraction other than alcoholism could ruin the entire group. So we are going to build on that on 141. Why did AA finally drop all its membership regulations? Why did we leave it to each newcomer to decide for himself whether he was an alcoholic and whether he should join us? Why did we dare to say, contrary to the experience of society and government everywhere, that we would neither punish nor deprive any AA of membership, that we must never compel anyone to pay anything, believe anything, or conform to anything. The answer, now seen in Tradition 3, was simplicity itself. At last, experience taught us that to take away any alcoholic's full chance was sometimes to pronounce his death sentence, and often to condemn him to an endless misery. Who dared to be judge, jury, and executioner of his own sick brother? As group after group saw these possibilities, they finally abandoned all membership regulations. One dramatic experience after another clinched this determination until it became our universal tradition. Here are 2 examples. On the AA calendar, it was year 2. In that time, nothing could be seen but 2 struggling, nameless groups of alcoholics trying to hold their faces up to the light. A newcomer appeared in one of these groups, knocked on the door, and asked to be let in. He talked frankly with the group's oldest member. He soon proved that his was a desperate case, and that above all, he wanted to get well. But, he asked, "Will you let me join your group? Since I'm victim of another addiction even worse stigmatized than alcoholism, you may not want me among you. Or will you?" "24 hours a day, May 13th. AA thought for the day. In AA, we find fellowship and release and strength. And having found these things, the real reasons for our drinking are taken away. Then drinking has no more justification in our minds. We no longer need to fight against the drink. Drink just naturally leaves us. At first, we are sorry that we can't drink, but we get so that we are glad that we don't have to drink. Am I glad that I don't have to drink? Meditation for the day. Try never to judge. The human mind is so delicate and so complex that only its maker can know it wholly. Each mind is so different. Led to act by such different motives, controlled by such different circumstances, influenced by such different suffering. You cannot know all the influences that have gone to make up a personality. Therefore, it is impossible for you to judge wholly that personality. But God knows that person wholly, and He can change it. Leave to God the unraveling of puzzles of personality, and leave it to God to teach you the proper understanding. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may not judge other people. I pray that I may be certain that God can set right what is wrong in every personality. Daily Reflection, May 13th. The easier, softer way. If we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 72. I certainly didn't leap at the opportunity to face who I was, especially when the pains of my drinking days hung over me like a dark cloud. But I soon heard at the meetings about the fellow member who just didn't want to take step 5 and kept coming back to meetings, trembling from the horrors of reliving his past. The easier, softer way is to take these steps to freedom from our fatal disease and to put our faith in the fellowship and our higher power. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading, and I love that daily reflection. The easier, softer way is the steps. Yes, it's work, but I'd rather do a little bit of work compared to living in the madness of my alcoholism. And you know, I know we talk about the actual drink a lot. And of course, when we get into AA and we work the steps and we go through the process, of course, it's absolutely crucial not to drink. But what I have learned in sobriety, true sobriety, at least for me, is that alcohol is not the problem. It's the man looking in the mirror. That's the problem. Because my addiction, I was just talking to this the other day with a friend, my addiction can shift to something else. Whether that's a healthy thing or whether that is an unhealthy thing. It can move to any one of the instincts that I have as a human being. So the easier, softer way is to get down to the root causes of why I am the problem, why I do the things that I do. And step 4 helps with that. Step 5, as the reading certainly says, all the steps help with that, obviously. But when I admit that I'm powerless over myself at times, when I come to believe that God can help me, and I make the decision to follow Him, I do some house cleaning. I confess to another person and get their perspective and prayers. I come home and I pray to be entirely ready to let some of these things go. I let them go and try my best not to pick them back up. I become willing to make amends to somebody else, and I make those direct or indirect amends with a second opinion from my sponsor. I continue to take personal inventory. I keep trying to enrich my spiritual life. And I carry the message to somebody else and practice this in every area of my life, which is a lifetime job, right? But when I do these things, it sounds like a lot of work, but compared to where I was before, this is so much easier. This truly is an easier, softer way. Kind of goes back to what we just read in Two Wives, right? After all, your family is reunited. Alcohol is no longer a problem, and you and your husband are working together toward an undreamed of future. When we both work on ourselves, like my wife and I've said this a few times, God bless my wife. She had plenty of ammo. She had plenty of ammo and could have used that as a club to beat me over the head for years. Some of the things I've done in my drinking. But she didn't. She worked on herself while I worked on myself. And we both grew individually. And we both grew together. And just like in sobriety, when you start to take an inventory of all the blessings that you have, I started thinking about all the blessings I have in my marriage. And everything I could have ever wanted is right in front of me. If I'm willing to till the soil, if I'm willing to water the soil and cultivate it, everything I could have ever imagined, everything I could have ever wanted is right in front of me. I've just had my blinders on. Always focusing on the thing that I think I want, the thing that's missing in air quotes, right? Instead of taking the blinders off and realizing this is the road of happy destiny. This is the destination right here and right now, today, this set of 24 hours. I've still got 20 hours today. Wow. I can cherish it. I heard this quote from, I think it was John Lennon, big Beatles fan. He said, life is what happens when we're busy making plans. So today, I just want to soak it in. When I'm on my lunch break, I just want to go outside. I want to soak in the beautiful nature around me at that soccer field I usually hang out at. I want to come back inside. I want to tell people how much I care about them. I want to show my gratitude today. I want gratitude to be an action word. Because this is the easier and softer way. And life is good today. And that rhymed apparently. I'm a poet and didn't know it. But anyway, my friend, I hope that you have a great day today. If you are sober, you're a miracle. And I say that every day, but it's the truth. You're a miracle. I'm a miracle. There are miracles all around us. And you're giving a great gift to everybody around you. And you have a unique superpower to help the next suffering alcoholic, and anybody else for that matter. Because we've been given a second chance. Let's take advantage of it today, you know? And if you're not sober, I want you to know that you're a miracle as well. Because you're alive. You still have an opportunity to ask for help. It's not too late. And if you have the honesty and open-mindedness and willingness to ask for help and admit, you know what, I can't do this anymore. There are people dying to help you. And it'll be the beginning of the best chapters of your life if you let it happen. Sometimes we just got to get out of the way. So I pray that you get the help that you need today. And as always, my friends, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon. I'm just trying to be helpful in this lifeboat of recovery. But it is an honor to be here. And if we're given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.